of the best ways to get your posture back into alignment is to let gravity do it, which means you can do this all day long, and it's probably not going to do 100% work. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the second posture class. And this is just kind of a follow-up of the first one, and then we'll get into different topics. I'm going to be doing flexibility at the end of the month, so if you're interested in that. That's my topic, and then Paula's doing balance next week. Justine's going to work on the back again, and then we'll do the mind and the breath with Panush, and then we'll see how it goes after that. So most of you, I have done a little posture analysis, probably half of you. And this is what I do, is I take a picture of you front view, side view, and then I draw lines to see how straight and crooked you are. Okay, and then I try to give you a little bit of my eyes so that you can see what I see. And I see things based on what my reading and my research is. So I'm trying to learn myself and to understand why we have posture issues and why we have pain issues. And I was thinking as I was driving over today, thinking, posture is such a boring topic. If someone said, I'm going to come for an hour and talk about posture, it's like, snoozeville, right? And that's how boring is that? But posture really is physics. Really, that's what it is. So if your posture is like this, the physics of that means there's going to be a lot of stress on the upper body because it's tilted forward, just like this picture. We saw this the first time. You know, as your head tilts forward a little bit over that ear to shoulder alignment, it's like you're carrying additional weight and additional weight. That's why so many people have tight neck and tight shoulders, because we're trying to counteract gravity because we're leaning forward. So that tension in the shoulders is going to be pretty immense. So I'm going to do a really interesting shoulder opener to this class. And this is something that I have done for the last 6 months, and it has made a world of difference for me in my shoulder and my neck tightness. Who, raise their hands, has shoulder and neck tightness? I think almost everybody does, right? And I know when I go around the room and give people massages, I can feel it. And if the muscles right here in between your shoulder blades, see how they kind of poke out right there? If those muscles are really, really tight, that's going to limit your ability to move your shoulder joint, right? So I've got a really good movement and a really good release working specifically in that area. So I'm just going to open up before we take any movements for anybody who wants to ask questions about what they saw in their handout. Anybody? First of all, did you cry and did you scream and did you pout? No way! Did you see what I saw when I pointed out? Yeah, you did, right?
Coming in late to the game, can the forward sloping posture be occasioned or prompted or caused by lower back weakness? Does one relate to the other?
Absolutely, because the spine is meant to curve in those 3 directions. And if there is a modified curve in your low back, it's going to modify your forward curve and your thoracic curve. So you might think you have a neck problem, but really it's a low back problem. And some of you, I don't think there's anybody in the room that had this problem, but this is a common one where people overarch their back, right? They're like this, and their bellies are out. Especially guys, they call that, what, the 6-pack, the 12-pack, I don't know what they call that. You know, so you can just see what happens right here. This overarching of my back is going to cause my neck to kind of get out of alignment. So that kind of movement is just going to cause more stress. We have a couple people that have the opposite, where they're tilted forward, right? And their hips are forward, and then they're going to have rounded shoulders to compensate for that. So if you're looking at everybody from their chest up, you're going to think like, well, they've got some neck and shoulder issues, but really it probably started in their backs. So one of the things I did put in this initial handout is one of the best ways to get your posture back into alignment is to let gravity do it, which means you can do this all day long, and it's probably not going to do 100% work. But if gravity helps you, that means you're going to lay flat on the floor with your legs up a chair or your legs up the wall, and that's why I have pictures of that. So you understand that gravity now is taking your body and making it straight, right? So when you're laying flat on the floor, your shoulders and your hips, they're in alignment. And if you can do that for 5 minutes a day, that incrementally is going to improve your posture, because slowly your muscles will release and slowly your bones will get back into position. So I'm going to do a little test right now as to the shoulder position, because I know some of the pictures that we showed that your shoulders were a little bit off. So take your one arm, let's say left arm, and just dangle it to the side just like this. Okay. Now I want you to look and see, is your thumbnail facing, of your thumb facing forward? And the side of your fingers facing outward. Okay, so this is what it looks like, see? When you're dangling it. If you're a little bit like this, that means your shoulder is rolled forward in the socket. Okay, that creates this. Okay, and some of you know that you saw that in your pictures, that maybe one of you had, maybe one arm had that forward rotation, the other arm didn't, and you didn't even realize that, right? There's a woman I took pictures of, and she was the opposite. It was interesting, she was like this all the time. She said she could no way, put her arms like this. So she was kind of stuck in the opposite direction. So what we want to do is we want to be very aware of that. So when we're walking, right, this, I have another student, and she's only 40, you guys, and I took her picture, and seriously, this is how she was. She didn't even know it. And so she almost looked like, you know, like a monkey would look, right, and a gorilla would look. But you would look at her posture, look what this would do, right there, you can do that. So that's a simple thing that you can correct, right? When you're up, back, and you're gonna get it back in the socket, and then your thumbs are facing forward, and your fingers are facing out, right? So when we do that, we're gonna do a little thing, it's called the pendulum. And we're just gonna take the arm, the left arm, we have it now, and we're gonna roll it around and make a circle. So what we're doing is called capsule work in the terms of Earhart, who's a great somatics teacher. That means we're getting into the joint, the ball and socket. Capsule work, good. And then let's take it to the other side, the right side, and make sure you kind of just let it dangle. See if you can get your thumb in the right position, fingers on the outside, and then let's go round and round in there. Just getting movement into the joint. Very good. And then the other way. Okay, so I know I'm going to be addressing half the room because the other half you'll be still getting your pictures, but one thing I want you to do when you see your pictures is to start thinking of, what do I do on a daily basis as a habit that might have caused this particular posture? So I will tell you the 3 things that I have found in my posture and what I'm doing to be more aware and to correct that. So if everybody saw my pictures, the first thing is I lean forward slightly, okay? If I were to stand tall sideways, I have a little bit of a lean forward because I'm always on the move, right? I'm going forward in life. So what I've got to do is I've got to make sure I go back on my heels a little bit. So when I find myself standing in line, and I always check, it's like, okay, do I feel that I'm leaning? That's going to lock my knees, get back on my heels. The other thing I have in my pictures, and everyone will see that, is I have one shoulder that slightly rotates forward. It's my right shoulder. I still think that many, many years of using a stick shift and working on the computer and just doing everything with my right hand has caused that. So I start to notice now, when I'm driving, that I'm holding my arm like this on the stick shift the whole time, even though I'm not using the stick shift. So I realize that. I'm like, okay, that one could go back down, right? Or at least if I'm hold it like this. So I'm being aware of that. And the other one that was a real eye-opener, and I just discovered this 2 weeks ago, is I have a slightly turned out right foot, just slightly. If I were to go like this, normally stand, that one would be out just a little bit. And this is what I discovered. It's the accelerator of my car. I discovered that when I was driving and just realizing that the right foot pivots in one position to the brake and to the accelerator. The heel stays in the same place, but what do you use more often? The accelerator. The accelerator. So I am constantly doing this motion to my foot and getting it off a little bit. So guess what I did? I put my heel over a little bit, and now this is how I drive with my accelerator. So just those are the things I'm just telling you that you notice, because as you get older, it's like a groove of a record, right? As soon as you do the same thing over and over again, your body has found that pattern. So what are you doing that creates that pattern? Because I guarantee you that we were not born with this going on and one foot going off. We weren't born like that. So we've got to catch ourselves. And that's why I promised you all that in 6 months, your posture will be better. It will have improved if you do the work. The first work is observing yourself, observing your patterns, observing how you're sitting, observing where your hands are when you're standing. And I don't want you to feel, again, like you're soldiers and you have to be perfect all the time. It's just you're going to catch yourself, So in yoga class, that's why we practice good posture, right? So that it's gonna be automatic pilot when you get into the real world. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna close our eyes now and just kind of settle back in to our space. Take a nice deep breath in, and when you do, reach those shoulders up towards the ears. On the inhale and exhale, roll them back and down. So you're going to inhale, reach them up, like you're kind of crunching up there, and the exhale, roll them back. And bring your arms and your hands along with you. So inhale up, exhale, roll it back. And the last time will be inhale up, and exhale, roll it back. Now, palms, I want your palms to be facing up today, just for a little difference. Because I'm going to show you, even in this posture, when we start our class and we close our eyes and we're breathing, you can improve your shoulder position by just turning your palms up. Turn your palms down, and you might even notice that your shoulders roll in just a little bit forward. So palms down a little bit more, calming, palms up a little more, energizing, but also will open up those shoulders a little bit. Two big belly breaths. So we're going to bring in the oxygen for our practice. So inhale, big breath into the belly button. Exhale out, nose or mouth. Inhale big. Exhale lower. Last big breath. And exhale, release it. Very good. So in Anosha's class, she used the block behind us, and I want to do that just for the first couple of poses. So Luke, can I ask you to get blocks for everybody? Just go around and hand. I feel like you're my student in the kindergarten. Can you pass out the cookies for us, please? So everybody gets a block. And I think this one is actually ingenious because it helps you be in good posture without that effort sometimes of holding that good posture.
Thank you.
So those of you who know what we're doing, here we go, let me grab one so I can demonstrate it. Okay. We're going to take the blocks behind us like this. Okay. So hopefully it's not going to slip through, but it's going to be like this. So that's going to force you to scoot forward a little bit, and then you're just kind of going to be straight. You're going to be beautiful, and you're going to be straight. And this is really what good posture is right here. This is it. And I guarantee you that you won't be able to do this very long if you didn't have the block, because it takes a lot of strength to do this.
Do you want a thick one or a thin?
But since we're in the room with Justine, and Justine's really, really big on axial extension, we're going to make sure that our spine is nice and tall when we do our neck stretches. Okay? Because as Justine mentioned in her session, is that if you stretch your neck but your posture's like this, it's not going to be a lot of benefit, right? It'll do something but not much. So when you're tall and straight, let's take those shoulders up and back a couple times just to remind, oh yeah, the shoulders are going to be down in their sockets, down. Good. Then inhale, imagine that you're lengthening your head up to the ceiling, and exhale, we're going to turn to the left. So just turn like as if you're looking behind you, maybe driving. Good. And then inhale back to the center. Keep the neck long and exhale over to the right. Good. And inhale back to the center. We're going to go one more time to the left. Exhale. Inhale back to the center and exhale to the right. Good. And inhale back to center. And now we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and bring it back up and exhale over to the left. Inhale back up. One more time, exhale to the right. And inhale up and exhale to the left. And inhale up. This is one of my favorites because it gets the muscle that does this motion. Okay, so this motion is called elevating the scapula, right? The scapula being those bones in the back side of us, right? And the collarbone. So we're elevating that scapula. So we want to stretch that muscle that does that. And the only way we can do it is by doing a diagonal. And I know Paula does this one a lot. So we're going to take the head, turn it towards the right armpit, okay? Take it hands down. Then you're gonna dip your chin down towards your right armpit. And I want you to hold it there because I want you to notice what you're feeling on the opposite left side of your neck. Does everybody feel that? That's the muscle we're stretching. Now give it a little nod. So come up and down a couple times in that position. Good, so that's the levator scapula we're stretching. And then we're gonna bring the head back to neutral. And then we're gonna do the other way, so the chin goes to the other side, and then we're gonna dip the chin down towards the left. We're gonna hold it here, because I want you to tune into what muscle you're feeling. And then a little nodding up and down here. Good, when you come back to the center. And then the last neck stretch to get all of the neck muscles in alignment is the rooster head. And this one is where you put your fingertip of your index finger, doesn't matter right or left hand, and you take your chin and you jut it forward a little bit, but then you push it back. You bring it forward and you push it back. It's almost like you're creating a double chin, but you want to push it back so that you feel it's long here in the back side of you. Once you have that length, I want you to let go of your fingertip, but just tuck your chin down a little bit. So this is important to strengthen these neck muscles, and then release it all the way up. So when our necks are forward like this and a little bit up, right? So the chin, if the shoulders roll forward, then the head's got to be up because you got to see, right? So what's happening is these neck muscles get really curved and really tight. Now you think that tight might mean that they're strong, but they're not. They're actually in a weakened position. That's why this position is so important. So when you're driving, I want you to do this when you stop at a red light or whatever. You're going to push your head back into the headrest. And then you're going to tuck down a little bit, and you're going to keep pushing your head back into the headrest. Okay? So let's take one arm and bring it back, pretend we've got a headrest here. So the hands behind your head, we're going to take that one finger forward and back just so that you find that movement, how much your head can really go back if you try. Go back, let go, tuck the chin, and push. Good. And then release. So that's the sensation you want to feel to get that length and the strength in your neck again. And that's going to stop you from letting it drop. And that's going to counteract all that weight and get it nice and aligned. Okay, so let's move these things because we won't use them the whole time. This might be something handy to have at home periodically. Even if you're in your lounge chair, you put this behind you and you can see how much it creates a lot of strength in your back and a lot of length. So we're going to do some shoulder work because I know that a lot of people do have shoulder issues. And we saw that even with the placement of our arms. So the most important part of the shoulder to keep it from rolling forward is to allow the shoulder, the bone to come into the shoulder socket and rotate. So bringing one arm out, we're going to turn the palm up. Okay, so make sure it's not just your wrist, and we're not just doing the wrist, right? We're taking the whole arm bone and we're rolling it back, good. And then the whole arm bone goes down, and now take your thumb all the way down and your palms facing the back. That's pretty intense, isn't that? But that's the rotation of your shoulder joint. Okay, take it up, the palm is up, and then we're gonna roll it all the way down, 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 and up. Now, if you ever get to a sensation where you really feel like you're overextending and pulling something, don't do that, right? Because we've got some tight muscles in there, so we're just working into that slowly. Good, then bring it down, we'll do the other arm. So that arm goes down. We're going to flip it up, so remember the whole inner elbow is flipping up, and then we go down, the thumb goes down, and all the way back behind us. Good. And then you'll just notice maybe one arm is easier to move than the other arm. All the way down. Good. Bring it up. And all the way down. Good. And then we're going to do arm circles. So we're going to do one arm at a time first, and then we'll do both arms. So we're out again, and we're doing that rotation. Remember, it's not just the wrist or the elbows, it's the arm in the socket. Capsule work, as he would say. Good. Then the palm turns up and we're going backwards. Very good. And then we'll go down, we'll go to the other side. So the palm is down, fingers are spread, and we're going round and round. And it's maybe about a 6 or 8 inch in diameter circle. It doesn't have to be super big. And then the palm is up and we're rotating. So now, since we got everything a little bit lubricated, if you think of the ball and socket, right, this is what we've done. What we want to do now is actually make a little space. See, so if it's rubbing in there too much, then it's going to be getting into the cartilage and wearing on the cartilage. So we're going to make a little bit of space, and this is how we do it. Let's take one arm out, and we're going to pull like someone's pulling our arm in one direction. Yeah. Then let's take the other arm and pull it all the way out to the other direction. Good. Now we're going to bring both arms, and we're going to go one way like that. Good. And we're going to go the other way like that. Okay, now look, we're gonna look at the one palm, and the palm is up, and we're looking at it. Flip that palm down, we're going to the other side, and that palm comes up. So now you see what we've got? We've got space in the joint, and we've got rotation. All right, so that's one of the healthiest ways to get that shoulder really mobile. Good, and then the other way. Good, and then bring it all the way down, and then release it. So you might feel a little sore in the next couple days because we're getting into some muscles that, you know, are usually tight. So let's just roll it out a little bit. And then let's take the hands and bring them out in front, so open and close the fingers. Good. And then move the wrists and move the fingers open and close. Very good. Oh, I hear all this crunching and snapping and popping and everything. I love that sound. I always say that's joints moving. Okay, then let's bring the elbows in and out, and the wrists are moving and the fingers are moving. And we have to get the shoulders and the ribs moved too. So find there's a little twist in this. This is going to help you breathe better to get a little more space into the rib cage. Good. And then let's go off to the side for the hula. Good. And then to the hula the other way. Good. And then we'll just wait up here. Good. All right, and shake it up here. Shake it down here. All right, so this is not a normal class, but what do you guys feel about, let's just move around like this. What do you feel about sun salutations? Anybody in the mood? Or we can skip them. Sun salutations.
It's always good.
It's always good to get the cardio, right? Doggone it, Pat wants it. Okay. All right, so close your eyes. Let's kind of get into a nice soft spot here. I just want you to maybe notice what your shoulders feel like. Maybe even turn your head with your eyes closed and just see if there's just a tad bit more mobility. Just notice anything different. Just settle in. Nice deep breath. Gently open your eyes. All right, so we are going to scoot up. So before we move, I just want, okay, everybody stay where they're at. Look at your feet. Just check it out. Are they parallel? Is one of the toes in line with each other? Okay, so that's what we want to have when we're in our sun salutations, because it's like we're standing. So we want to scoot up if you can. If not, you can just stay where you are. And we're going to be in that nice, tall, upright position before we start. So bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, we're coming into cactus. Take a breath. Exhale, we're going to lean halfway, and we're going to hold it here. Just the first time, we're going to hold a little bit longer, just so that you can feel that beautiful back strengthening. Take a breath now. Exhale, hands to kneecaps, and we're going to slide down. So you know we're doing a forward fold, so you stop where you need to. Let your hands stop. Ankles, knees, toes, doesn't matter. Inhale, halfway up, hands come to kneecaps, and you're going to roll the shoulders back and lift your heart open. Good. Exhale, you're going to fold. Take the fold wherever it feels comfortable. Watch that low back. Now just the right arm's going to reach up, and you're going to look at the right arm. Good. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale the left arm all the way out, the palms facing the floor. Good. Exhale down. Lift your head, draw the belly button in so you're nice and strong in your core as you come up. Big breath. Good. And exhale back to your heart center. Good. Here we go. We're going to do gazillion rounds today. Inhale up. Exhale, arms in cactus, and we're going to lean here. Good. Take a breath. Exhale, we're going to fold. So notice how the fold lets your body soften and release a little bit more. Inhale, halfway up, roll the shoulders back, maybe lift your head. Good. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, the right arm reaches up and your fingers are spread really wide. Exhale, bring it down. Good. Inhale, the left arm all the way up. And exhale, bring it down. Lift your head, belly comes in as we come all the way up, reach up. And exhale back to heart center. Good. Here we go. One more like that. We'll add to it. Inhale up. Exhale, the belly draws in as we're leaning because we've got to hold strong for the back. Good. Take a breath. Exhale, hands to kneecaps, and we're going to fold. So remember not to drop your head if you're feeling dizzy. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, we're going to fold. Right arm reaches up. And exhale, lower. Left arm reaches up. And then release it. Draw the belly in as the arms reach all the way up. Big stretch. And exhale back to heart center. Good. Now we'll add a little twist to this. So we're going to inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus lean. Take a breath. Exhale, hands to kneecaps, stay there or fold. Slowly, slowly, drop your head at the bottom if you want. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Right arm reaches up. You should be generating a little heat now. Exhale down. Inhale the left arm all the way up. Exhale down, lift your head, arms are gonna reach up. We're gonna come into cactus arms, and we're gonna take a twist here. So let's everybody take a breath. Exhale, twist to the left, draw the belly in. Good, inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale back to heart. Good, now we're gonna do a tilt. So inhale, we're gonna reach. Exhale, that cactus lean. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, release. Right arm reaches up. Exhale, lower. Left arm reaches up. Exhale, lower. Lift the head, arms all the way up again, reach up. We're gonna come into cactus arms again. So here we go, take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, up. Exhale. Good. And exhale back to your heart. Good, now we get the feet involved. So here we go, inhale up. Exhale, cactus lean, belly's in. Take a breath. Exhale, slide on down. You should be getting warmed up here. So inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Right arm reaches up, elbows nice and straight. Good, exhale down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, release. Lift your head, arms are gonna come out in front like you're holding a ball, so you can come like with your back straight, or if you wanna lean a little bit more, you're gonna have a little further work here for the core and the back. Toes down, heels up. Press those toes down, beautiful. And then heels down, we're gonna inhale, reach up, and exhale, all the way back down. Good, here we go, to the heels, inhale up. Exhale, cactus lean. Take a breath. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, halfway up, open the hearts. Good, exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, release. Inhale, left arm up. And exhale, lower. Reach the arms out in front, and once you have them out in front, remember you can lean or not. Heels down, toes up, so you feel the backs of your thighs working. Good. Toes back down, we're gonna inhale up. This will be the last one. Exhale, back to heart center. Good, here we go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus lean. Take a breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, right arm reaches up. And exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm. Oh, your breathing is so good. Exhale, lower. Now both arms out in front. We are gonna do blast off today because there's a reason for this one. So here we go. We're gonna go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're all gonna stand up. Blast off. Don't move your feet, everybody, because we're gonna do a little test right now. Okay, I just read this one this morning. Look down at your feet and see if one foot is forward than the other. I see a couple people. And tilt it a little bit, right? So that's that little tilt that I have. See, that's that right foot. Could be your driving foot. This is the natural way your body feels balanced. And if one foot is a little bit forward than the other, then that hip is forward. Okay? So, we're gonna try to, again, we're trying to be aware of these things. So we're gonna try to get that hip back in place by just trying to stand when we stand with our feet aligned. So that's a good test to just see if there's a little bit of a rotation going on in your hips. And then let's come all the way down because we are gonna do some hip work today. We're gonna do a really wonderful hip pose. I learned it a couple weeks ago from E-RYT. Again, E-RYT is one gentleman that does somatic movements, and you guys know I love somatics because it mixes up things a lot. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into a position on the chair that Paula does often. You do warriors like this, don't you? Okay. So we're gonna get into that position soon, but I do wanna tell you why we're doing this, because I have noticed in some of the pictures that people's hips are in line. If we were to draw a line and their hips are in line, their knees are in line, and their ankles are in line, but their shoulders are not. but one shoulder might drop. What do you think is happening between the hip and the shoulders in this area? It's scrunching up, isn't it? There's someone that I see in class all the time. I go around on the back side of you, right, when I give you your massages, and she sits cattywampus. She sits like this. So interesting. So I'm sure this muscle is very, very tight, and that's the muscle we're going to get into. It's the QL, it's the quadratus lumborum. It's the muscle that hikes up your hip, that if you were to hold a baby, you know, ladies who have babies and grandchildren, they're always like doing this, oh, I'm doing that, right, you know? And, you know, we should, if we think about it, oh, let's hold them on the other side and doing this and doing that, but we don't, right? So actually they said this syndrome is very common in women who have multiple children. So there's one woman who has it. I can't wait to ask her if she has multiple children because she has it pretty severely. So this is going to get into that muscle. So there's a little bit of a setup here. So watch. We're going to take, let's say it's going to be the left leg is going to go pointing out. So everybody should be facing that way, right? The right leg is going to be behind you, but the right knee is facing the floor. That's going to be an important thing. So that means you got to take those toes and tuck them back. And I want you to scoot so that it's going to be your left cheek that's on the chair. You can feel your sit bone. Make sure that knee is down. So if you need to scoot that toe back a little bit, okay? So we're going to hold on to the chair because I don't want anybody tipping over. I haven't seen anybody tip over yet, okay? So let's take your left hand, bless you. Take your left hand, no, that's not the right hand to your right shoulder. Okay. So watch this motion. Right elbow to your hip. Good. Then lift your right elbow up, 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 and tilt towards the chair. Oh yeah, everybody feel that? Good, let's bring it down. So we're crunching the muscles, right? We're tightening that muscle, elbow to the hip, and then we're lifting the shoulder up, the elbow up, and we're tilting towards the chair. Good, does everybody feel that? That should be super delicious, okay? If it's not super delicious, then that muscle's gotta be so, so tight. So do it just a couple more. Remember, we're contracting the muscle, and then we're stretching it out. Very good, you guys got it, really nice. Okay, good. And then release it, and let's just walk to the center. And then bring your knees like this and just kind of give them a little stretch. Okay, so we'll go to the other side. So I do want to remind you that the motion is making sure the elbow is in line with your shoulder. So you don't want this motion, right? Because this is not going to get you there. You want to keep it in line with your hip. So scooting up, it's the right foot that's in the front. The left knee's got to face the floor because in order to get the length in the pose, that knee's got to be pointing down towards the ground. Yeah, tuck the toes. Okay? Left hand to the left shoulder. And then bring your elbow up to your hip and your hip towards your elbow. So you're crunching down on that side. And then we're going to lift the elbow up and we're going to arc over to the chair. Good. And now, here we go. We're going to exhale. Exhale, scrunch. And then inhale up. And exhale, scrunch it. Inhale, lift it up. And two more. Oh, very good. You guys feel that? Come on.
That feels so
Isn't that
good.
feels so good? And I guarantee you, and you're Nancy, right? It's going to help you breathe better. It's going to help you breathe better because you're making space here in your rib cage. So that movement is good. We also get similar movement when we do these sideways bends, right? But this one gets a little bit deeper, I think it does.
I got a cramp in my left leg.
The one that was back?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That will happen
I had to
sometimes.
quit.
Yeah, I know, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we will get cramps. I will tell you, I get cramps myself, okay? Sometimes we don't drink enough water, right? But sometimes we're just getting into areas that we haven't gotten into. So you always back out of a cramp. You never just grin and bear it. Okay, so now we're gonna do the next new movement, and this is using a tennis ball. So we've done tennis balls in the class before, and we've done them on the bottom of our feet. But we've never done them into our shoulders, okay? So we've got the tennis balls. All right, so this one we're gonna all come to
New
the wall.
toys.
New toys, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's like trick or treat.
Yeah.
They're all the same color, so no fighting. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so first I'm gonna demonstrate. Wait, you got one? And everybody's got one? Paula needs one. Oh, Paula needs one. I'm going to demonstrate it on the floor first.
Perfect number.
Yeah, look at that. That worked out. So, before I even demonstrate, I'm going to ask a question, and I don't want anybody to feel guilty, but I want you to be honest, okay? How many people can say that every day they do some kind of stretching? Every day.
I do downward dog, I like
Good.
it. I try to walk.
Good.
I do a lot of hands,
Good.
muscle pull,
Okay. That's strengthening. I want you to stretch.
stretching.
That's what I want you to do, is stretch every day. Because if you're just waiting for yoga class to stretch, right, you're like treading water. You gotta do it every single day. And this is a pose that I have been doing every single day, as I mentioned at the beginning, for 6 months, and it has been a godsend for me because I have very tight neck and shoulders because I work on the computer all the time. But people have tight neck and shoulders for different reasons, right? One of them we talked about before is this posture. You're gonna have tight neck and shoulders. So here's what I do at night. Now you guys, if you wanna do this on the floor at night, feel free to do that, but we're gonna do it against the wall, so I'll give you an option. So what you would do is you're placing the ball right either in the inside of your scapula, right here. This bone that sticks out, you're gonna put it right in the inside or possibly around on the outside, depending on where you're tight. And what we do, the tennis ball is like a little acupressure. So I'm gonna lift it up, place it right in there, and then I roll on it. And then you're gonna be going, ay, 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 okay? Because it gets into a little tight spot. And then you would do this like simple like movement like this. So you can see you're kind of massaging this area. And you're just rolling around in there. And what it does is it takes, if you think about tight muscles, they're just bound up. They're just
You need a
tight as
massage.
can be. So you need a massage, right? This is the massage, right? This is gonna get into there, and as much pressure that you can lean on, it's gonna get a little deeper. We're gonna do it against the wall, okay? So
I
what we're
learned
gonna
in
do,
another yoga class, you put that in a nylon sock and tie a knot on it, then you could hold it.
Then you can hold it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
and
good
you go out
idea.
and Move it around. and-
yeah, this, you might lose that, that's a good point, Pat. You might lose the ball, because what she said is if you put it in like one of those nylon bags, then you can hold it and make sure it doesn't drop on the floor, okay? But I want you to feel the sensation of what that is. So you come to the wall, find that spot, you might not know it first, but you'll find it. And then once you get there, just kind of walk a little bit forward, and you're just gonna roll around like this. And maybe even move your arm around and up and down, and see if you can find any tight muscle that feels like it needs a little bit of pressure.
Here, I guess.
And once you get there, you can hold, you can breathe here. Paul, you wanna come here?
Once you get there, you'll know it.
You'll know it, exactly, you'll know it.
Oh.
Bend your knees so you don't feel like you're gonna be, locked in there.
Oh, wow, wow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you feel that, exactly.
Lord.
And you want it in your muscle, not your bone, okay? It's the muscle that you wanna get into. You feel that?
Oh,
Yeah, see? And so now you can control how much pressure you do by just leaning in or out of it, right? And up and down, roll it around. And you feel it too? Yeah. And I'm telling you, you will know now where you're tight, because you're gonna feel that sensation like, oh my gosh, that place is so tender. Yeah. And then maybe try the other side. Maybe try the other side. So you're kind of getting that feel of what that's gonna do for you? What, you almost dropped it?
It just keeps going up higher and higher.
Yeah. And sometimes people actually use 2, so if I were on the floor, I can even put 2 in there. Now see, just by moving your arm, just try. If you move your arm, see what goes, you see, you get a little different pressure point if you move your arm. You see that? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good, okay, so come back to the chair. So invest in a tennis ball. I bought this whole bag for like $2 at Walmart.
Well, I thought they were gonna have a sale on tennis balls today.
Really?
3 and a 2 at Walmart, I think $1.90.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Bought some the
Yeah,
other
but when
day.
you buy them in quantity, then they're even cheaper. So that worked out really well. Okay, so why did this movement that we just did help my neck? We didn't touch my neck, did we?
Yeah.
Why do you think it helped my neck mobility? They're all connected. if your shoulders are bound up, those muscles, the trapezius muscle, it goes up to the back of your skull, right? That's a major neck muscle. If that one's tight, it's gonna lock in your neck. So Justine's over there doing it. So that's why, for me, it was really painful for me to turn my head and back out of the driveway to the right. It really was. I felt like my mobility in my neck was very, very limited. Once I started doing this 6 months later, I could just look all the way around with no pain, you guys, and that is what saved me. It's just because how do you get into these tight muscles? Like I said, we can do this a million times, it's not gonna quite do the same, right? It's not, so we gotta do a little bit of massage work, and this is a good little tool to do it. The other way we're gonna get into the neck muscles, and I think we've talked about this before, is we're gonna massage the bottom of our feet. So since we've got the ball, let's take the ball. Yeah, and we're gonna take the ball and we're gonna roll it around the bottom of our foot in the arch. And you wanna go like into the inside of the arch, the middle of the arch, the back. You're just kind of rolling around. You can go fast, you can go in circles. Sometimes it shoots out over you. And then you play footsies with it. Yeah, good. And then I want you to put a little bit more pressure in there just to feel like, oh gosh, I got the tight spot. Yeah, I want you to feel that. Because that area right here that we're working on is mapping right into the back of the neck. Good, now let's go to the other side. Do both sides. One of my students told me she's been doing this every single night, and she actually says it helps her hip. Why do you think that is, anybody? It's all connected, right? Because we talked about before, we've got big fascia trains. They're called fascia trains. We've got this huge fascia train, like a big net, that covers the front side of us and a big net in the back side of us, and they both meet at the bottom of the foot. So you loosen that little connection of the two nets, and you get a little bit more freedom throughout your body. Okay? So how's that feeling, you guys? A little tender in some certain areas, right? Got to work in those areas. Yeah, good. And then let it go. All right, so let's sit back and relax. Let's take a pause because we're going to do a couple standing poses. So I just want you to sit back. A nice deep breath. Maybe notice if you've got a little more spaciousness anywhere. Just notice if there's any difference in your being. Gently open the eyes. So we're going to come to standing. So we're going to do a downward facing dog. And we're going to come to the low part of the chair today. If you can do the low part, give it a go. If you want the high part, feel free to stay there. But otherwise, we're just going to take it to the low part, and we're going to reach the arms up as we walk away a little bit. And then the arms come flat down on the chair, so the palms are spread wide, because that means you're bearing weight, and you want to make it easy on the wrists. Good. And then you're going to walk back until you can get into a nice straight back position. So your knees are bent a little bit because you're low this time. Good. And I want you to just look down on the floor. So your gaze is down back behind you. And if you can, pretend somebody's pulling at your hips and they're pulling you backwards and you're holding on with those fingers as much as you can so you feel the length underneath the arms, through the shoulders. So when we stand against the wall and we bring both arms up right behind us, this is that same movement we're doing here. Good, and we're going to come all the way up, and all the way up. Good. And then I want everybody to come with their chair in front of them, facing me. So we're going to work a little bit into our legs. So another thing that what happens to us as we get older is that we spend more time sitting down than we do standing up. And when we're sitting down, we do not have any strengthening in our legs, do we? We're not strengthening our ankles, we're not strengthening our thighs. So we're going to do that now, standing up by doing chair pose. So we're going to bend the knees. And when the knees are bent, I want you to see if you can keep your back straight. So there's a couple of positions for chair. Some of them are leaning forward, but I want your back to be straight here. Good. I want you to feel it in your knees. Everybody kind of feel that? Like the knees are strong, they're holding you pretty darn good. Good. Now bring one arm out in front. And let's see if the other arm can come out in front. And there's going to be a point where you're going to feel like your knees are just about had it, or your thighs are getting really kind of tired. Once you get to that point, stay there. And then bring your hands down and stand up. Oh yeah, then shake out the legs. Good. Okay, we're gonna do one more because we're gonna strengthen the ankles along with the knees. So we're gonna bend the knees, keep the back straight. Good. We're gonna take one arm out in front. The other arm, you don't have to take the other one because that's a balancing, because what we're gonna do is be up on the toes. So it might be good to hold on. If not, you're gonna be up on the toes. This is the super deluxe version. So it gets the ankles and the knees. Try to keep your ankles strong. Don't let them wiggle too much. Good. And then drop. Oh my gosh. Okay, very good. And then shake out. Okay. So the other pose that's really good for strengthening, again, the lower body is goddess pose. And I like this one because this is the kindest pose to do for your low back. It keeps the low back nice and symmetrical. The SI joint doesn't get moved one way or the other, and the hips are in perfect alignment. So the toes are out, the heels are in a little bit, and you're gonna bend and you're gonna straighten. And you're gonna bend and straighten. Now some of you might get a cramp in your butt muscles. That's a common thing. So if that happens, then you just don't bend as much in your knee. You have a cramp in your knee or it hurts your knee?
No, it just hurts on the side.
Yeah.
So I can't
Okay,
bend
then
it.
just
Can't bend
gently
it.
go down. But Bobby, then do equally both sides. Don't favor one side, okay? Don't say like, oh, this is my good one and I'm not gonna go into that one. Then equally, good. Now, let's keep it bent because we're gonna take the shoulders into this. Now, let's take one arm around, good, and then we're gonna straighten the leg and straighten the arm. Good. Then we're gonna bend and we're gonna straighten the arm as we straighten the leg. Good. One more time. Good, and then straighten. Good. Here we go, the other side. So we're bending the knees as the arms swing around, and then when the arm is straight, we're straightening the legs. Good. And then again, it's called the lasso.
No, I am bending sideways.
Yeah, right. See, you're favoring that side.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. All right, and then release it. Now we're gonna do both arms. Here we go. We're gonna go like this, bend, around, and straighten. Good, bend, around, and straighten. Very good, hands to the chair and walk it all the way up. Good, and then I want you to bring your knees high when you march up, just a little bit. Good, there's the quads working again. Okay, so we're gonna do our last standing pose. We're not gonna do tree. We're gonna do the tightrope, which is a little different than how you do it, Paul. You might find this one interesting. I learned this from a new teacher. We're gonna go to the side of the chair because you're gonna need to be able to have your feet with a little bit more space. It's gonna be your left foot that stays and your right foot's gonna be in front of you like you are in a tightrope. Good. Bring your right arm out to the side with your palm facing up. Good. Touch your thumb and your index finger. So you're on a tightrope, see? That's it. Okay. Bend your knees a little bit. Because we're going to take the other arm out and do the same thing. A little wobbly, huh? A little challenging. Take one long blink with your eyes closed. Long blink. Oh, and bring them up. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. It is so hard. Why is that? We can almost be balanced like this. As soon as we close our eyes, we've lost it, right? How important our eyes are for us. Good, and then release it. Shake it out.
No focus.
Okay, yeah. Because the eyes are always looking at the horizon. They're always trying to keep you steady. Okay, so now it's going to be the left foot in the front, right foot in the back. That one hand goes out, the palm is up. Good. Bend your knees a little, and then take out. Now, for me, this is so much easier on this side. You might find that. You might find one side's easier than the other. It's not easier. Yes, see, sometimes it's, one side is easier. And then take one long blink with your eyes closed for a moment. Oh, then open it up, and oh my gosh, how hard is that? How hard is that, right? Good, I know. And then release it. I know, see? I know, I've noticed that myself too. So that shows us, how asymmetrical we are. So we always want to work a little bit on that weaker side. So come back to the chair. We've done some interesting things today. So we're just going to sit back, close our eyes for a moment. And I just want you to notice the beating of your heart, if you can feel that, and the warmth in your body. Energy, that circulation that's going around and around inside of you, the life force. gonna end it with a little gentle twisting, okay? So I want you to scoot on up. And you're gonna bring your left arm out in front, make a fist, and you're looking at your thumbnail, and we'll take it out to the left one finger at a time. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4, as far as you can go. Keep pulling the arm back until you feel that shoulder stretching. And then we're gonna pull it back in, pinky first, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And back in. Good. One finger at a time. Work in dexterity, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, but keep pulling until you stop. That's your edge. And we're coming back in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back in. Okay. To the other side. Make a fist. We're looking at the right thumb. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep going. Keep going. Beautiful. Twist the torso. Good. And back in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back in. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Big stretch. And back in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now it'll be both arms. I'm going to take out one finger at a time. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little heart opener, maybe a little back bend. Oh yeah, reach it up. Good. Come back in. Pinkies first. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck your chin down. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big stretch. And other way. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin. Good. And release. Good. How you feeling? Anybody warm? A little bit, huh? Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna do about a 5 or 6 minute Shavasana. So those of you who have been to this class before, you know that I love for you to be on the floor if you can. It's that whole thing about gravity supporting you. So if you wanna do this option, which would be the legs up the chair, right? You can do this. Wonderful. Or you can do this. Scoot yourself up, and you can be far away from the wall and be like this. That's okay, because your back and your shoulders are nice and supported. Or you can scoot further, and you can be up like this. And the other option, which some of you have seen in the picture, is just to sit like this against the wall, so that your back is being supported by the straight wall. So any of those options, otherwise you can stay where you are, okay? And I'm going to dim the lights and